Let's head over to that press conference now where the ANC is addressing the media.
We will be bringing in the different presenters. Once they are done with their paper, they will be coming to the press room to come and just give a brief on their papers. So that's how we're going to roll throughout the afternoon. So let me now hand over to Comrade Jeff to brief yourselves.
Thanks, Comrade. Thanks to the media that is present here this afternoon. I'll briefly outline what is in the program and what is expected of this National Policy Conference. As the National Chairperson alluded to this morning, that the National Policy Conference is mandated by the Constitution to convene to review policies of the African National Congress with the aim of recommending those policy positions to the National Conference that is going to be held in December this year, I suspect at the same vein. So when we get back to the plenary session now in the closed session, we'll start with the issues of credentials as well as program and the rules of procedure, which is going to be done by our Treasurer General Comrade Paul. That will be followed by strategy and tactics and the balance of forces, which will be done by Comrade Tabang Kweka, which is like a deep stick evaluation of our strategic approach on the current challenges that the ANC is facing. And then that will be followed about organizational renewal and constitutional implication, which is going to be done by Comrade Phoebe, followed by gender equity and emancipation of women. This topic has been encouraged very deeply by our late Deputy Secretary General, J.C. Duarte, that as the ANC we need to make sure that in each policy area we factor in the issue of women's emancipation. So that is why in all these policy documents, as we are moving towards the National Conference in December, we're going to be incorporating where it is weak to ensure that this matter is directly resolved by the African National Congress. After that, I'll be making a presentation on the approach of the ANC, on the findings and recommendations of the State Capture Commission by the Chief Justice Zondo. And then, immediately after that, the conference will be split into about eight commissions that will deal with the issue of organizational renewal, strategy and tactics, gender, as well as the issue of state capture and corruption. So that will be the rest of the afternoon today. And then tomorrow we'll be going deeply now into specific policy areas. There are 8 of those policy areas: peace and stability, social transformation, education, health, science and technology, culture, international relations, legislation, governance, communications, and the battle of ideas. And last but not least, the issue of economic transformation. As Pule has said, all these presenters, after they've made their inputs into the plenary session, will come to brief you in detail as to what has transpired there. So I suspect that we're going to be having a very vibrant policy conference this year. I'm sure people of the media also have been alluded to some of the issues that might be raised. But as I'm emphasizing, members of the ANC are very dynamic, and there's a feeling amongst ANC members that this opportunity must be there to create an avenue for members to express themselves the best way they feel like. So there's nothing that is being hidden. Everything is open cards. There's no policy position that will not be tackled. So I'm looking forward to a very vibrant policy conference this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Comrade Jeff. If members of the media want to ask questions, we'll only take one round of questions because we need to go back to plenary. Okay? Lucan from? Okay. Zondo now, because Comrade Jeff, members of the media that are present here are more than 400. So that's why we must ask who they are. We don't miss out. So it's only four hands. Okay, you may start.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucan Newsroom Africa. I just wanted some clarity around the commissions on tomorrow. Do those remain closed or are they now open with the report backs as well? Please.
All the commissions are closed, but we're going to go to an open session when the President is closing the conference on Sunday. So that's why, as Comrade Bule was saying, we'll give the media an opportunity to interact with all these policy position papers from the conveners of these subcommittees. For an example, I'm going to have Kubai coming here on economic transformation, Sisulu on social transformation, Mahlobo on peace and stability, etc. So we're going to be feeding you with a lot of information in this.
Yeah, but Lucan, so before you come in, but what you said about the ones for today, because they are happening at plenary, that will be an open.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's okay. We'll just clear it with Comrade Jeff. We'll advise you. It's not a problem.
About what?
About what happens after credentials are adopted.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But you've already made it from
Yes. No, that's why it's not there. We're not reneging on that. You can.
Christian Nicholasy here from Netwerk vir die Twintig. Mr. Marvin, so we heard that the President did appear before the Integrity Commission on the Pala matter. I know this doesn't have to do with policy conference, but we heard that he appeared before the Integrity Commission on the Pala matter. Would you just confirm that? And then just say when that commission will make a recommendation on the issue. And if he hasn't appeared, why not yet? Because he has been saying that for a month or so. Thank you.
You don't have to speak up because there was a bit of struggling.
Okay, so my question is, can you confirm that the President has appeared before the Integrity Commission of the ANC regarding the Pala allegations? And if he hasn't, why hasn't he? Because he has been saying he will be, for a month now, he will be appearing before the Commission. And if he did appear before the Commission, when will a recommendation be made? Thank you.
Well, we had a meeting of the National Working Committee on Tuesday evening, and a report from the officials indicated that the President did meet with the Integrity Committee, but the meeting was not completed. So there is another meeting that is going to be scheduled between himself and the Integrity Committee.
Can you perhaps clarify something? There is a letter that that was leaked to us, many of us in the media, a letter to Mutuli House, where disgruntled members in Free State were saying that they were skeptical about the way that delegates were selected to come to this conference. And I see on social media as well, some branches in Ekurhuleni are saying that they also oblivious as to how exactly was the selection process, how the selection process went about. So how exactly were delegates selected to come to this conference? Was it through BGMs? How does it work? Thank you.
I was not certain as to the question, but if it has to do with credentials, when we get into the plenary session now, there will be a credentials report that is going to be presented from all provinces, leagues, and so on. So if there are specific issues, I'm sure they will arise there. But as we speak now, I was part of the preparatory to the conference. We were informed that all the provinces have been given delegates in proportion to the membership of each province. So that is why you find, for an example, that KwaZulu-Natal will have a larger number of delegates than, for example, Northern Cape, precisely because of the membership that is there. Thanks.
Good morning, thank you, Susan Boyd. So just about the delegates, is possible please to confirm the number of expected delegates and how many? I know that you're still dealing with credentials. How many are expected and have all of them arrived? Because we also might feel the many empty chairs in the plenary this morning. Thank you.
You're saying, we are asking about journalists, no? Okay, we expected 200. The ones that ultimately enrolled and arrived are 453. 200. So delegates, not journalists. No, sorry.
So maybe Ude is very enthusiastic for the fact that 200 journalists applied to be accredited and more than 400 are now registered. So on the expected delegates, before, when we're preparing for this conference, we're estimating that we'll be having about 2,065 delegates, but the precise number we'll know now when the credentials are being presented, because delegates, when they come, they register. So I'm not sure how many will be there.
Mr. Hadebe Kosikona here from Eyewitness News. This is the 6th policy conference of the ANC, but having read some of the papers, the discussion papers, it's clear that the ANC up until now has not come up with policies on key issues that are affecting the country right now. Two of them that come to mind is one, migration, and two, it is safety and security, especially when it comes to protecting public infrastructure during social protests or upheavals. Will this Congress be assessing as to why you have not been able to deal with that as the ANC? Can you guarantee that these issues will be, these policies will actually be formulated in this particular conference? And just lastly, the ANC in its own diagnosis has admitted that it has a number of good policies, but failure is always on the part of implementation. So will you be frankly doing a fair assessment as to why you are not able to implement your own policies, and what approach will you be taking this time around to ensure that you come up with policies that you can actually implement?
Well, the immigration policy is coming up for discussion in this policy conference this weekend. The Department of Home Affairs, through its Minister, Dr. Aaron Mutswale, have been making a review of the whole issues of immigration since 1994. So they've come up with a policy position paper of how South Africa can be able to overhaul the immigration system so that there's one overriding legislation that encompasses all issues. Let's take, for example, visa. As I understand it right now, we've got more than 14 types of visas in South Africa. Apparently, we're the leading country in the world in this area. So the aim is now to ensure that we have a uniformed application of our immigration laws. So, but as I said, the arbiters are here in the conference. They've advised us as to which approach to take. On the issue of implementation, it has always been a challenge, but it is an exaggeration that the ANC does not implement its policies. There might have been failures here and there, but that is why we have this opportunity now, this forum, in order to evaluate how far we've gone in implementing our policy positions, whether they're working or not. If they're not working, what are others that we can be able to amend in order to ensure that we deliver to the people of South Africa.
Caroline Dumais from France 24, French TV. I have a question on the step-aside clause. We believe that, we've read that the ANC has identified more than 200 members of the ANC in the Zondo report. Are you confirming this figure? Did you find out more members of the ANC in the Zondo Commission report? And how do you expect the step-aside clause to be discussed here? Are you expecting very hot debates, a very long debate about it?
Yes, I can confirm that in reading this 5,612-page report from Chief Justice Zondo, there are about 200 names that look familiar to the ANC. So we're now doing a verification process in order to ensure that we provide these names both to the SG's office as well as to the Integrity Committee. I actually expect that that topic will be widely debated in this national conference because it affects the ANC directly. As we have seen in the Zondo report, the ANC is also mentioned in very unsettling terms. So our responsibility and duty as leaders and members of the ANC is to confront this issue frontally and come up with proposals as to how we can be able to improve our situation.
Just on the back of that, Jeff, I just wanted to understand, this is a policy conference, and the step aside is part of a resolution of the elected conference, Masrak, 2017. How will it be managed when it comes up in this conference, the whole issue?
Well, we are a very democratic organization. No view can be suppressed in the ANC. So we're looking forward to hearing motivations for that because that's a position that was taken in NASREC and also confirmed by the National Executive Committee. So that's why I'm saying that there are no holy cows in a forum like the National Policy Conference. In fact, we need to think outside of the box. So I expect that issue to come up very strongly in this policy conference, judging from the media reports that I've read about KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, and so on. So it will not be suppressed at all, that debate.
Doesn't look like we still have got more questions. Yeah, we're going back to plenary. We will come and brief yourselves on the next steps once credentials are adopted. Thank you very much, members of the media.